doing one more. She emailed me last night that she is going to make it, so we'll hope that she's just a minute or two late. But it's our start time, so why don't we go ahead and get started? If you've got a holster, if you'd like to start off with a heart opener, you can start off, just take the holster right up behind us and let the heart just drape right up over the holster. So as you start to get settled into the shape sooner or later, you get to feel your breath flowing. And just notice how it is to slow down the breath. Just a little bit slower than our normal pace. But slowing down, I've been playing with that idea a lot this week, and we're going to play with it in class today. Oftentimes in yoga, we get kind of rushed. It's like, okay, one pose, and then the next pose, and then the next pose. So today it's just this idea of slowing down a little bit to give space for the body to really deeply open up to the exterior. The breath flowing nice and easy. For just a few more rounds. Just notice if there's areas of your life where you tend to always be that Speedy Gonzalez. So maybe it's driving. There's probably some of us in here that like to drive fast. Maybe it's with our work. We like to just rush through our work, get it done as soon as possible. Maybe it's trying to do a to-do list, get us 50 things done in a day. There's so many things that we can be rushed about, and we don't think about how it actually can be beneficial to slow down purposely sometimes. So slowing down when we eat, for instance, slowing down when we stretch. It's using that slowing down to help us be more in our body. So from here, let's begin to stretch the arms, the space above our head. Pull the ribs, stretching out nicely. Another good breath, all the way flowing in, out. Good. So as we release, we're going to scoot the bolster off to the side. So we're going to roll over to one direction, use your thumb to scoot the bolster away. And then when we start to take our knees into the chest, feel how nice it is to take our deer state time, just kind of rolling around the hips. Rocking left and right. Okay, so take both hands around the right knee. Start to send the left leg nice and long to the ground. So again, with this moving slow, really feel that left leg grounding down. Feel it sliding long. Super, super open. And from that very grounded left leg, can this right knee get pulled in even deeper? Good, and let's begin to invite this right knee into a twist across the body. Going all the way over. Don't feel like you're rushing to any destination. Think of this as kind of easing our spine as deep as the muscles want to go right now. And just slowly breathing, and maybe in a couple of breaths from now, the spine wants to go more, and maybe not. And that's all good. A huge inhale. Exhale. Scooting the right hip back to the ground. Let's clasp our hands up around the back side of this right thigh. And we'll start to straighten the leg up to the sky. Think of this as both the hamstring pushing into the hands and the hands pushing into the hamstring to help that leg try to find that perfect 90-degree angle. Some of us will still end up with a little bit of bend to the knee. That's okay. But just think of those two actions trying to work into one another to help one another. Good. So take another inhale. Exhale. And then right ankle to left thigh. Right hand around the left side. Nice and easy going into that hip. One more inhale. And then exhale. Let this right leg release. Similar to before, with both hands threading around the left knee, start to let the right leg drop to the ground and really start to feel that side grounding down, even sliding away. The calf and the heel touching the ground. Get everything pressed down firmly. And from that firm foundation, this left knee gets pulled in even deeper. See how much we can release. Trying to pull the knee close. Take one more breath in. Exhale, this knee starts to cross over the body nice and slow. Ease it into a twist. So the left arm opening up to the left. Remember, you don't have to immediately get to the deep spot. Feel the muscles just gradually allowing themselves little by little more depth. Take one more good inhale. Exhale. The hip starts to return back down to the ground. Start to find the hands clasping around the back side of the thigh. And then this left leg begins to straighten its way up towards the sky. So it's hands pushing into the hamstring and a hamstring pushing down into the hands. So those contrasting movements. Nice inhale. Exhale. left ankle to right thigh. So to set up the hug. Enjoy another full breath cycle flowing in and out. Good. So easy release. This next one's a core movement. I personally like having a block for this one. If you don't have the block, you'll have to get the elbow to touch all the way to the thigh, so it's a little bit more effort. But what we're doing is placing a block on the left side, and then it's the left elbow that's holding the block up. You're squeezing those 2 points together so you can feel that left part of the core already really active. So that side, the left side is pushing into one another. With the right side, we use our exhale to touch that the right elbow to the right knee or thigh. And then inhale, slowly lengthen those 2 points away from one another. So 4, nice and slow. And stretch. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Switch the block over to the right thigh. Right elbow pushes into it. You're already feeling that right half of the core working really hard. So then left side, touch elbow and thigh. And inhale, stretch 2 points away. Good. Exhale together. And stretch. Here's 3. 2. 1. Good. Coming back. Remove the block. Plant the feet close to the glutes. And we're taking bridge pose, staying up high. So press the feet into the earth. Roll the hips up. Once it's at that highest point, if you can pass hands behind the back, go ahead and fold. Hips lifting high. Feel the inner thighs gently squeezing in. Take 2 more full breath cycles. Releasing the hands, roll the hips back down. Let's work our way up toward a seated place. It's rolling like a ball as possible. Sometimes just coming up is better. Good. So once we're up, this is another one where it could be nice to have the block. We're taking legs out in front of us and just pushing into the block. If not, you have to just use your inner thigh engagement. And what we're doing is use a nice exhale, feel your spine round. We're pulling ourselves back to the point where we still have control. So some of us will be higher, some of us lower. And then once we're as far as we can, we sit back up, arms swing up overhead. Good. So 4 more like that. Roll your way back. And up to sit, arms. 3. Up. 2. Up. 1. Good. Coming back up. Beautiful. You can release the block and then just continue to stretch over the legs. Take it up to a slow boat, the best that we can do. So maybe hands are up behind the thighs. Maybe arms are released. Maybe legs are straightening. So it's up to you. The spot where we can maintain for about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab the ankles, knees going wide. Slide your heels into cobbler's pose and let the spine relax forward. It'd be nice to take block and place that under the head or even 2 block stacks. If that feels nice, take it. If not, leave it. And as we rise up, let's let the legs open out nice and wide. We'll just see how far forward our spine wants to travel. So let your spine set up as straight as it can. Then play with the hands walking forward. Just relax into that spot. Maybe after a breath or two, there's space for a little bit more. So you just play with it. We'll be here for a little while. Nice and easy, very slow. We'll go through a few slow cycles of cat-cow. Easy rounding up. Easy belly dropping down. Good. Another 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. And then taking the bolster off to the right side of us, place the right knee up. Then you'll scoot the bolster as far away as you can before dropping down to elbows. It's like a very supported frog pose. One more inhale. Exhale. Make our way back up onto hands. Gently take the inner thighs back up onto the mat. Placing the hands just a little bit further forward than the normal kneeling spot. Start to circle the hips around. So circle far to the back and then circle forward. And then reverse the circle direction. All right, let's do one more circle left. So clockwise and counterclockwise. Good. With that, we'll start to take. Take another inhale. Exhale. And back up onto hands. Take yourself back onto the mat and do a few more of those nice hip circles each direction. Good. So as that feels nice, feel free to take a few breaths playing with downward facing dog. Feel the hamstring stretch up nice and long. Maybe wiggles. Let's lift our right leg up nice and high. Step your right foot to the outside of right hand. We're ultimately going to be lifting right arm up to the sky. You can choose if you'd like to drop the back knee down. That's beautiful to play with too. Both are a great expression. So back knee lifted or lowered, whatever feels nice. Good. The spine just continuing to spiral open. Take another huge inhale. And exhale as hand comes down. We're in lizard, so again, back knee lifted or lowered. Also, option to go down to elbows if you wish. Beautiful. So as we're heading back out of this, we'll take a slow flow. So as your right leg swings back, maybe it's a kneeling plank, or maybe you're ready for full plank. And just slowly lowering towards the ground. A slow rise up with the heart, cobra. Good, and then right back up to downward facing dog. The left leg will start to float up to sky. Step left foot to outside of left hand. Left hand will rise. So the point you choose if the back knee is lifted or lowered. Both are really beautiful expressions. Good. Take another inhale. Exhale, hand drops down, playing with lizard, knee lifted or lowered, elbows up or down. Take another inhale. Exhale. Let's come up onto hands. Same thing, slow flow. So kneeling plank or full plank. Lowering slowly down. That's much harder than just dropping. And then heading to the cobra. Beautiful. As we go to the down dog, we're going to be practicing a slow step of the foot through to start our next sequence. So note, the slow step is really hard. Most people can't get it all the way through. It's a little bit harder with hands on the floor. So putting blocks under the wrist would be an option to give you that little bit of extra space if you'd like to have that there. So it's your choice, blocks or no blocks. And we're lifting up to down dog. If you're using the blocks, they're under the hands right now. Good. So right leg will start to float clear up to the side. You lift up the back heel. Bring the right knee to the nose. Shift the shoulders forward. And then try to step the foot through. Amazing. Then from here, again, float right hand up to sky. And right hand down. The back heel goes to the earth. Sweep the arms up, warrior one. Take the forearms to touch in front of you. With the huge inhale, elbows separate to the side, cactus arms. And then exhale, round forward and press the forearms together. It goes back and forth between front of the shoulders touching and back of the shoulders. Two more. And squeeze. And one. Beautiful. Sweeping arms up to the side. We'll plant the hands to blocks or the ground. Front leg straightens out, pyramid. Imagine there's never an end to how much the leg can straighten. It's constantly getting straighter and straighter the longer we hold it. Good. We'll shift forward to supported warrior three from here. So again, fingers on the floor or under blocks. The hands are right underneath our shoulders. The back leg is lifting about level with hips. Good. So revolved half moon. The right hand tries to reach up to the sky. So the funky side. Good. Beautiful. Right hand down to the block. To now go to normal half moon. First, start to stack your hip. And then the left hand starts to float. Good. Hand down, hips square. So one more time, revolved half moon. So right hand up. Then when right hand comes down, hike the left hip up. And then left hand floats. Beautiful. Drop that hand to the block or floor. Drop down, forward fold. Let your muscles lengthen for a few breaths. Just dropping down. Rising up to half lift. Planting the hands. You could head back to child pose, down dog, or take another slow flow. But ultimately, it's going to be another of the slow steps through. So if you wanted blocks on your hands, go ahead and situate them. Once you're there, settled, lift up down dog, and float the left leg. Lift up the back heel, that gives you a few inches. And curl knee to nose, as tight as your core can. Shift your shoulders forward, left foot slowly through. Good. So from here, left hand goes up to side, just breathe deep. Twist up. And down. Back heel rest down. Sweep the arms up, warrior one. Forearms come to touch. Take a huge inhale, open cactus arms. Exhale, squeeze together. 2. 1. Good. Pull the arms back up. Straighten the front leg. Drop hands down to blocks or floor. Help the leg continue to straighten through that pyramid shape. Bump your way forward, support a warrior 3, has to be floor or blocks. Got the right leg floating, the hips level with one another. So first, slow revolved version. Left hand is one to try to lift. And when left hand comes down, start to hike the right hip. You feel the right hand float, let that one start to rise. Good. Right hand down, right hip squaring back down. Left hand, one more time, slowly up. Down. Hike the right hip. When it feels stable, right hand floats. And lower it down. Drop down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step walker, jump back. Child pose, down dog, or that slow flow. Good. So this will be another step through. if you want the blocks, put them up. If you want to try without this round, that's okay. Right leg will float up to sky. Slow step, so heel back to lifts, knee to nose, shift your shoulders forward. Ultimately, the foot softly lands. This time, that toe drops down. Heart will directly open to warrior two. And the toes open to goddess, helping the hands push the thighs open. And back open, warrior two. We'll try from here, cartwheeling down to Hatha. So the right hand would land to the right block or floor. Scoot it forward just a little bit and you'll be in the spot. Okay. And then let's see if we can float up to kind of like a star balance pose. And then floating up to left knee in front of us. Good, it's funky to shift the hips like that, good. If you get to here, try to take this left ankle to right thigh. We'll bend the standing leg, maybe trying to drop hands down to help open up the hip, or hands down to the left circle. Good. Feel free to release the leg, go to the forward fold. Got one more sequence going forward like that. So when you're ready, we'll travel down and count half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back or jump back. Pause down dog or slow flow. Okay, so left leg floats. Slow step through. Back heel down. Right away, cartwheel open. Warrior two. We're now turning the toes to 45-degree angles, hands to inner knees, press the thighs open. Staying here is fine, or taking the lower squat, Skandasana. Hands can go down to the floor, closer to, say, the left leg, and then the right leg goes straight. Low squat. Good, just like that. And then switching legs. Straightening legs right there through the center. Take a wide angle forward fold. You choose the arm variation that's going to be helpful today. And the knees, roll our way up. The front toes turn forward, maybe a little bit of bend shape to that knee like warrior two. Let's try cartwheeling down to half moon. If the cartwheel isn't working, you can go back up where we were playing before. Go with a supported warrior three to the left. Good. To the side, see if the balance is there to lift up like a star floating. And then right knee comes in front of us. Right ankle to left thigh. Bending standing leg, press the hip open. Or drop down, hands to floor or blocks. Eventually release down, forward fold. And we'll take it to Malasana, yogic squat. The toes come out about as wide as the mat. Squat down. If you ever want a block to sit on instead, that's perfectly fine. We've got them today. Elbows are in the knees, pushing the knees open. Hands are in that curve. Another huge inhale. Exhale. Drop the hands down, straighten the legs. And this will be our last flow back to child pose, down dog, or the full sequence. Inhale, half lift. So plant the hands, traveling back. You choose if you're doing the flow, is that slow lower chaturanga, cobra, the downward facing dog. Beautiful. Okay, so go ahead and drop to knees. This next thing we're playing with has lots of options based on how your hips and your quads are. So I'm gonna start, the first variation I'm gonna give you is the easiest for the people that are maybe the tightest today, and then I'll give you deeper and deeper and deeper. The last one will be the hardest for sure. So easiest version, all you have to do is pigeon pose. The right leg is forward, you're using the bolster to support you, dropping down. The second version, I don't have a wall, but imagine the back of the mat is where my wall is. The second version would be scooting up to the wall. If the toes lift up just a little bit onto your wall, that'll be deeper. That'll start to get you into the quad stretch. The further back you scoot, the more it lifts up that leg, so it'll be a lot deeper. The harder version is, obviously you can drop down or like onto the elbows, that's easier. Harder is coming into a back bend or even grabbing onto that foot. And then hardest is not using bolster. So you're in this pigeon pose with the heart open. So your choice, how deep you want to take it, but use the wall. So scoot your mat all the way up to touch the wall. And then choose whatever you want. If you just want the hip opener, beautiful. If you want the hip opener and a little bit of tilt, scoot the knee just a little closer to the wall. Or if you want the full thing, yep, exactly. It'll be right leg forward, left will be the one working its way tilted. And if you're not using wall at all, try to see if you can, even just for a brief moment, see if you can get both hands up of it. It's hard. You don't have to be good. So right leg forward, into the pigeon pose, yep. If the toes are using the wall, it's lifted whatever degree feels nice. The best part is if you start off really intense and then you're like, okay, I need a break, you can always drop down. There's nothing wrong with that. Pigeon, yep, so pigeon would be lifted up. Correct, yeah, try not to drop that. Yep. So you could even scoot yourself a little bit closer to the wall. The knee can completely touch it, yeah. And then even just like staying with your hands. Yeah. Yeah, exact. Yep, it's like that. Yep, so hands are not even necessary. It's only if you like it, yeah. Just reach. That's okay too. Yeah, it could be an arm length thing. I have long arms. It could be, it's a back bend thing too. So it's all the above. Oh, you're doing awesome. Play with this hip, whatever you're doing, about 3 more breaths. Easy. So as we start to ease out of it, bring both feet in front of you. Just do a couple of easy windshield wipers, whether you're on the bolster or slide off of it, whatever feels nice. Just give your hips a chance to recover, give some motion to both. Okay. So when you're happy, we'll start to switch sides. So if your bolster ended up clear on this right half of the mat, scoot it over to the left half. It'll be your left leg that does the pigeon pose shape. Maybe you scoot closer to the wall. If your knee's touching the wall, that will be the deepest. Just play with the hands resting down. You could play with the back bend. You could even rest down. That will still be a quad stretch there. It's whatever feels nice for your body. Any variation anywhere kind of in between the whole spectrum that we've got here. Our last 3 or so good deep breaths. We'll take those windshield wipers. So bring the legs out in front. Nice and easy. Don't feel any sense of rush. This will begin our journey back down to Shavasana. So if there's any last seated stretches you want to take a moment to explore, this is beautiful. Welcome to take even a full 2 minutes or so if that feels like your body's still needing it. If there's any laying down stretches you'd like to explore, that's fine. A nice little twist, a happy baby, anything that feels good. And since mats are close to the wall, if anybody wants to do legs up the wall for Shavasana today, that's fine. We've got all sorts of blocks, bolsters, variations. So there's all sorts of things that you can play with for Shavasana today if you want to. But just explore any of these beautiful last things that feel helpful. This last chance, the slower we go, sometimes the better we can listen to our system. Just keep on breathing, exploring. Is in your way. That's good. Still exploring, still listening. When our body eventually gets to that spot where it's ready to just release, the first thing we'll do, at least for a couple of rounds of breath, is take slow, deep cycles. So we're turning back to the slowness. Even though maybe our body temperature picked up, Back to the slowing. So here, let a slow breath cycle flow in, out, Start to introduce little movements back to the body, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Exploring stretching out in ways that feel helpful. Eventually taking a nice fetal position up to one side. Enjoy another slow breath or two. Until sooner or later you feel ready to rise. No sense of rush. We start to come up toward a seated place. We take a moment to connect back to our intention, thinking of what it might mean for us to slow down. Maybe it means occasionally taking the more windy roads rather than the fast freeways. Maybe it means slow down a little bit, enjoy every bite that goes in our mouth. And maybe it means sometimes slowing down to enjoy the stretch just a little bit longer. So with this idea to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.